Welcome back, gents. Let's do a very quick run through of this load workup with a bunch of 55 grain full metal jacket bullets. Not listed on here is Bob's bullets, but that's going to be the first grouping that we look at. Otherwise, we have Sierra Matchkings, these lightning bullets, and also PPU. Anyway, we're running Exterminator powder, Winchester 41 primers, and Lake City brass. Our overall length is 2.245, which means that some of these have a different base to ogive measurement, especially the lightning bullets. These are noticeably longer or more forward. Anyway, let's get to the group interpretation. So first off, Bob's bullets. And I do have a little bit of an oopsie here. I'm doing 3-shot groups. This one has 4. This one is actually supposed to be over there. So you can see where things are slightly tightening up. Point of impact is shifting down. Here it shifts back up. Slightly smaller group. Goes a little bit back down and then opens up slightly for the final charge, which isn't the maximum charge. It's pretty close. We're at 24.7. I do believe 24.9 is the max. So this right there, when we get to basically around 556 levels of pressures, and this is going about 3,200 feet per second, by the way, that's where things really tighten up. So that's pretty decent. I mean, it's probably a little bit under an inch. This one definitely over, but nothing to sneeze at. Anyway, Sierra Matchkings. Now, the first group I had is actually only supposed to be 2. This third one, well, ignore that. It goes to the group down below. But this is still pretty grotesque. Then we have 3 here. That's what we're going for. Much better. A little bit over an inch, maybe about an inch. Ignore that one down there. And there, 3, huge shift in the point of impact. Then things go back down and really narrow up again. And then we have a huge shift over to the right and a little over an inch. So again, though, look here. Tightens up and then a little bit over to the right. Same trend as up there. Kind of interesting. Let's do the lightning bullets. Yikes. That's really grotesque. Then up here we have 1, 2, 3. Things tighten up. Then we have 1, 2, 3. A lot of vertical. 1, 2, 3. And then lastly 1, 2, 3. And notice how the last 2 are very consistent, but again, a shift to the point of impact, this time over to the left, not to the right. Part of me wonders if that's because it has a different overall length. Well, not overall length, the different ogive measurement. How much it jumps to the lands. That's what I mean to say. Lastly, we have PPU, which did not terrible, but not good. So you can see here starting, next load up, next load up. Then we have some verticality here, and then the final charge seems to actually like close up a little bit, which is very interesting. It's probably the only one that doesn't follow the trend of a huge shift to the point of impact. They are relatively the same though, and they are probably the most consistent. So, quite interesting. And oddly enough, it's probably the most consistent overall in terms of point of impact. Very curious.
I want to do a very quick overview of some of the measurements of these bullets. I just did a very small sample size of 5. That's it. But I feel like this sample size, however small, is still pretty indicative of the quality we're getting with these bullets. For example, let's take a look at these Sierra Matchkings. We can see that things are very consistent. The one thing that worried me, and I don't have this labeled here, but this is actually the diameter, ended up being 223. All of them ended up being 223. I thought that was very weird. That's technically a little bit on the narrow side of things. But the ogive measurement, that is to say the bullet base to the ogive, 0.386 for all 5. The overall length ended up being fairly consistent with a variation of about 5 thousandths, I think, on the extreme spread. And then the weight, of course, was very consistent. Basically one outlier here. Yeah, this one's different, but it's close enough. Like, that could be my scale being weird, right? I don't have the most high-end scale. It's not a lap balance or something like that. It's a $15 Amazon special, but it does read down to the hundredths. Anyway, lightning bullets actually overall did probably the best, because look at this. All the same ogive, bullet-based ogive again. The diameter, all consistent. The weight, fairly close. And the overall length, just 1/1000th variance between all 5 bullets. Bob's bullets also did fairly well. Diameter and ogive was fairly consistent, but you can see that there is more variation here with pretty much all the things. But for bulk bullets, not bad. PPU overall measured to the worst. You can see here we actually have some variation with the bullet diameter, a lot of variation with the ogive measurement, but also with the overall length. And then these other bullets, well, these are just other projects, and I figured I'd keep the data going. That's it.